Hey everybody, it's Dan Sfera, www.theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Once again, that website address is www.theclinicaltrialsguru.com. We believe it's the best place on the internet for clinical trials content and information for many reasons. Number one, we post daily. Number two, we speak in plain language that anyone can understand. Number three, we don't just feature myself and Don every day. We interview people who we call guest gurus, and we ask them to share their experiences, whether they're positive experiences, negative experiences, neutral experiences. We don't care. We just want to put it out there so that we can demystify clinical trials. So we're going to continue bringing you, hopefully, excellent content and more interviews. But today, I wanted to talk about the number one biggest misconception in clinical trials. And I'm going to keep talking about it, and so is Don, because we keep hearing it, whether it be from people who just don't know any better, or mainstream media, or whatever it is. The biggest misconception about clinical trials is that people who do clinical trials are guinea pigs. And what these people are suggesting is that there's no real benefit for someone to do a clinical trial for them. They're only benefiting others. They're benefiting science, and this is false. In the United States, you have 20 million people, just in this country alone, 20 million people doing a clinical trial. Worldwide, that number is probably double. So let's just say 40 million people right now are in a clinical trial. I guarantee you they do not feel like guinea pigs. There's no way we would have that many people doing clinical trials if this industry was based on a guinea pig type model. It just would not work. People would not do clinical trials. That's just way too many people. So we feel like we feel that this misconception comes from the fact that people they don't know what clinical trials are. So when they think about it, they think of something mysterious. They think of these weird experiments going on. They think of people being paid a lot of money to test side effects of drugs. And that part is true. Those are called phase 1 studies. They look for healthy volunteers, people who are relatively young and in relatively good health, to test the drugs for side effects. And it's true, their only benefit is getting money. But that's such a small fraction of the percentage of people doing clinical trials. When we're talking about 40 million, this number for phase 1's got to be less than 10%. So that's not that many people, and trust me, they don't feel like guinea pigs. They may jokingly refer to themselves as guinea pigs. There's been books written about them. Roberto Abadai wrote a good book. It's called The Professional Guinea Pig. So they obviously take some pride in calling themselves guinea pigs. But look, guys, we all know that guinea pigs don't get paid thousands of dollars. Guinea pigs are taken from a cage. They're not given an informed consent. They're not given any rights. They're certainly not paid. They're not put in nice facilities where they get to spend weeks, just doing a particular clinical trial, and then at the end of it get paid. So they may jokingly refer to themselves as guinea pigs, and of course they have every right to do that. They can call themselves whatever they want. But it's doing a disservice to everyone else in clinical trials, and I'm talking about the phase 2, phase 3, phase 4 trials, where you have people who are actually seeking better treatments for their conditions. And then we have mainstream media. The only time they ever talk about clinical trials is when something terrible happens. Like, there's tragic death. And it happens. There sometimes are tragic deaths in clinical trials, especially when you go into a study and you're already sick and you're looking for better treatment. If you're that bad and you were close to being close to dying before you joined the clinical trial, some people may die while they're in a clinical trial. That doesn't mean that, that's not an accurate portrayal of the clinical trials industry. And if mainstream media, I understand, we're all in the eyeballs business. We all want content to our website or to our TV programs or whatever. I understand that, but it's not an accurate portrayal of clinical trials to only focus on the negative. By the same token, the other side of that coin, we can talk about the extreme positive results that have come out of clinical trials, We're talking about people whose lives have been saved. And we're going to interview a lot of these people, and we have interviewed some. Their lives have been saved by clinical trials. And you don't really hear mainstream media covering that. So by the same token, where you have tragic deaths happening in clinical trials, you also have people who have their lives saved, and not to mention future people's lives saved because of the better medical treatments and the better medical cures that were possible because of clinical trials. So, like we said, most of those 40 million people are, their experiences will lie somewhere in between. They'll probably have neutral, maybe good experiences, maybe so it's important to understand that for the majority of the 40 million people worldwide right now in a clinical trial, it's important to understand that they don't feel like guinea pigs. And, we always need more people to join clinical trials. We always need research-naive people. And what that means is people who have never participated in a clinical trial. We need them to join in order to find better treatments, hopefully better cures one day. And we're not going to do that if the first thing that they think about when they think of clinical trials are guinea pigs. So I understand the whole phase 1 thing where people call themselves guinea pigs and things like that. And like I said, they have every right to call themselves whatever they want. They're not insulting anyone else. But they are doing a little bit of a disservice to everyone else because they're only contributing to mystifying clinical trials. And so what we're going to try to do on this blog is demystify clinical trials every day. So the biggest misconception is that clinical trials are for guinea pigs, and that's just completely false. 40 million people would not allow themselves to be guinea pigs. Consistently. This is 40 million people per year. So just something to think about. Let us know what you think. www.theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Thanks a lot.